already, I'm Mary Griffin. I'm the Commissioner of the Massachusetts Department of Fish and Game, and I'm delighted to be here in beautiful New Bedford. This is a lovely site and a great boat ramp project, and we have a lot of important local officials and state officials here to help us celebrate the total reconstruction of the Rodney French Boulevard, or Clark's Cove as it's commonly called, boat ramp. And there's another boat ramp right down the road in New Bedford, the Rodney French West site. The Rodney French East site, where we're not, that has also been totally reconstructed. I'll just tell you just a little bit about the project, and then I'm going to quickly turn it over to a lot of other speakers who made this project possible. So anyway, this boat ramp reconstruction project where we are now is a result of great people like Representative Cabral and Mayor Lang and the local councillors who are present, bringing this issue up to Governor Patrick and Secretary Sullivan, who in a challenging fiscal time, made $488,000 of state bond funds from the State Environmental Bond Fund available to rebuild this project. And so over the last year to year and a half, both projects were designed, permitted, and reconstructed. And our Office of Fishing and Boating Access Director Jack Shepard is standing right in front of me. He and his great staff, Doug Cameron, worked very hard to make this project happen. And the place where we are now, Clark's Cove, has 22 parking spaces for cars and trailers for launching boats, and we see some members of the public who've been out fishing today. They said they caught a few fish and had a great time, and that the new boat ramp worked very well. So with that, I'm going to recognize we have a lot of people who I want to give a chance to say a few words. We hope Mayor Lang will be joining us imminently, but we have Kristen Dekas from the New Bedford Harbor Commission is here with us on behalf of Mayor Lang, and hopefully Mayor Lang will be here shortly. Representative Tony Cabral is here, just to my left, and Representative Cabral was a person that really caused this to happen. He identified this as a local need and raised it with Governor Patrick, and we are very grateful for his support. So he's going to be our first speaker. Representative Chris Markey is here, and we have Councillor Deborah Coho, how should I have said that? Coelho, thank you. Councillor Joe Lopes and Kristen Dekas. So those are going to be our speakers, and I'm going to ask Representative Cabral to say a few words first. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Commissioner. It's wonderful to have you here in New Bedford again. This is really a project that started on my office hours. As you know, I have office hours every month in the South End. I had two individuals who were daily fishermen. They came up to me and said, Tony, you have to go see those ramps and the disrepair condition that they are in, and it really was affecting their daily lives. And I did that. One of those two gentlemen, one is Roy or Rui Silva, and the other one is Manny Concelos. Unfortunately, Manny cannot be with us. He passed away late last year. I know if he was here and he looked at both of the ramps on the west, the one that we are in here today, and the one on the east side, he would be absolutely delighted. That was one of his passions, daily fishing. That was part of his livelihood. As you know, this is not only used by recreational boaters, but it's used by daily fishermen. Everybody in New Bedford always looks and thinks that the fishermen are just those who go out for 8 or 10 or 12 days. But we have folks that every day, if you come here around 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, you see them luring their boats to the water and go out and make their livelihoods every day. And so this was a very important project. So what we did, and we identified some state money through the environmental bond bill that we passed a couple of years back, and we pursued that with the governor and the governor's office and the secretary of ANF and Secretary Sullivan, and we were very successful in securing. Initially, we had secured $650,000. The good news is that we actually were able to accomplish both projects with $488. So it tells you the great opportunities these days to really maximize state dollars, be both capital or otherwise, to build these kinds of projects, because under the present fiscal, under the present economy, obviously we can get more for our dollars, and we should maximize that. And that was part of the push for us to get this done at this time. It's nice to see my colleague Chris here as well, and Councillor Coelho. I know the commissioner got a little stuck on the LH together, and certainly Councillor from this ward, tireless advocate for these ramps as well, and for all that is good in Ward 6. He's a tireless advocate, always in contact and in touch with me. If not every day, I can tell you it's every other day about an issue in Ward 6, and so I'm delighted to work with someone who cares so deeply about the folks here in this ward. So you'll be saying a few words in a minute. But really, this is great. I mean, if you have an opportunity, if you saw what's happening here right now as we speak, the kind of activity that takes place, and you should come here around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and see really the excitement and how important this development and these reconstructions of both of these ramps were for those folks who make their lives out at sea on a daily basis. We're going to have I think the order is the next is my colleague Chris Markey for a few words, and then we'll go from there.
I'd just like to say that I think what makes this unique is the one unique asset New Bedford has, as well as Dartmouth. I live right across the cove here, about 300 yards up from the water, and I can see the activity that goes on day in and day out. And the fact that these ramps will provide the people in New Bedford, in Greater New Bedford, the ability to take care of their greatest asset, the ocean. We have a long history in New Bedford of taking care of the water, making sure we have people who are working on the water. This allows that to happen in a safe, positive environment, and I think that Tony's excellent work in advocating for this project allows for this to happen. And it's that type of advocacy from the representatives in Boston who I think can make this community better. But most importantly, this particular project, as well as the East Rodney French Boulevard project, allows the people of our citizens to take care of our greatest gift, and that's the ocean. And hopefully people will be able to take advantage of that day in and day out. And I'm just grateful for the efforts of the governor, as well as Representative Cabral. At this point, I'd like to turn it back to Tony, and thank you very much for attending.
I'm going to have the next speaker will be Councillor at Large, Deborah Coelho.
Right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to be here. I want to thank the Department of Fish and Game Commissioner Mary Griffin, who is here today. And I was having a conversation with her earlier how much she loves her job, because she gets to go out to these surrounding communities that are about the water, and that's our livelihood, is the water. And that's so unique to New Bedford, to its people. And the best part is that you can come here regardless where you're from. You pay your $7 and you can go use this beautiful ramp. It's open to everyone, and especially for those families that on daily basis go out there fishing, especially the way the economy is. This is really special for New Bedford that you can do that. And so I know a lot of them, they feed their families on daily basis through the fresh fish that come in on daily basis. So congratulations once again for New Bedford improving itself, to our Representative Tony Cabral and Markey for paying attention to local issues. This means a lot to us, so thank you. It's very special, and I'm very honored and pleased to be here. Thank you.
The tireless councillor from Ward 6, Joe Lopes.
Thank you, Tony. I want to also thank the Commissioner for all your help. When I got here, we had a long discussion about both the East and the West and how both the projects were done on time. This one was done a little sooner, but as the rep stated earlier, right after I got elected, me and Rep Cabral had a sit-down conversation about the target list that I wanted to see get done, and this was right on the list. And it must have been right after Tony met with the two gentlemen, because he said it was already on his list and that we would work to get it done. We did this on this area, we did it with Gulat Square, and we're still working together. Tony has been a tireless advocate for this area, and this just shows the dedication that he's been able to bring us from Boston down to New Bedford. Both of these boat ramps were in needed repair, and I remember last year when we had Lieutenant Governor Murray out, we saw the east side with Kristen Dekas last year when that was still in the work, and the Lieutenant Governor even knew what was going on. So it just shows you what the tireless advocate that we have up in Boston. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Joe, and perfect timing. We have the mayor is here. He's next on the list of speakers, and he comes prepared for boating. Is it recreational or daily fishing? Daily fishing. Mayor Lang.
About 2 years ago, Tony Cabral, who spearheaded the boat ramps, came and indicated that both the boat ramp on the west side of our beaches and the east side, we're on the west side now, but the east side needed repair, safety, quite frankly, improvements to protect the recreational as well as the commercial daily fishermen in our city. And was able to work with our delegation and work with the governor, Seaport Council, and Marine Fisheries with Mary Griffin, and end up in a situation now where we have 2 boat ramps now that are state-of-the-art, very safe, and provide the opportunity, the access to the most beautiful water that exists, I think, on the East Coast. So we're very thankful. We've got a great delegation that has worked very closely with the city government, and the dean of delegation is Bob Kazera, and then Tony Cabral, who took this one on. Each of one of our reps grabs specific projects and moves them forward, and they take turns working with each other. Chris Markey now has come in absolutely seamlessly and worked with the delegation as well, and we really appreciate him. But this is an example of our tax dollars going up to Boston and then coming back for our priorities, which we really appreciate under the Patrick administration and under DMF. So I just want to say that between the work that Kristen Dekas has done with the Harbor Commission, the work that all of our stakeholders have done on the waterfront, our state government, the Seaport Council, we've redefined New Bedford. It's the #1 working waterfront in in Massachusetts, and I believe in New England. But it also is not only the #1 fishing port, but now it provides a tremendous amount of opportunities and resources to take advantage of the water sheet, which means import-export, ferry, barge traffic. This year, I believe we're going to be up to about a dozen different yacht clubs coming into the city, 25 to 30 cruise ships coming into the city, constant array of different vessels coming in and out that help drive our economy. So this is another example of infrastructure. The other thing I should point out is this provided jobs for people. This is a clear example. This is, if you want to look at it as local stimulus, this is the kind of earmarked stimulus project that brings taxpayers' money back to a local area, puts people to work when the project is being done, and then allows people to continue to work when they take advantage of the resource, which in this case are boat ramps. So I want to thank everyone again, and I appreciate being asked to come here and lend my support to these type of projects. So thank you very much, Tony.
We're going to turn the microphone back to the commissioner.
It's been great to have Mayor Lang here and Representative Cabral and the city councilors to celebrate this. I hope the people of New Bedford enjoy fishing and boating, and the whole state enjoys public access here to Buzzards Bay, Vineyard Sound, and Nantucket Sound, and enjoy fishing and getting out on the water. It's a beautiful sight. There's one person here that no one has thanked that I'm going to recognize. Tommy in the back, our Office of Fishing and Boating Access and Department of Fish and Game, we have great partnerships with local cities and towns like the city of New Bedford, and they help us actually manage and keep places looking nice after we build them. And so the city of New Bedford is our partner, and they help us keep this looking as good as it does with trash trash removal, collecting the parking fees, and running the place. So we're very grateful for the City of New Bedford for its on-the-ground management and support once we construct the project. I want to end by also thanking my staff, Director Jack Shepard, who people fondly refer to. Senator Brewer always calls him the godfather of public access. He is. He knows more about building boat ramps and fishing piers than I think anyone in the state. And I'm very grateful for him and his staff and for their work on this project. So thank you, Representative and Mayor Lang, and I hope everybody enjoys this beautiful, beautiful site. Thank you.
Let me just add a couple of words at the end. The governor, a big thank you to the governor, Deval Patrick, and Jay Gonzalez over at ANF for the wonderful support that they have given us on these specific projects, but other projects that are ongoing in New Bedford, in the South Coast. Without the governor's leadership and certainly the support of the Secretary of ANF, this job would have been a little more difficult. I know the mayor said it's been wonderful to work with the mayor on these projects and others, and I think someone was on the list if the mayor didn't get here on time, which he always gets here on time, was Kristen Dickes. You know, and Kristen has really been working seamlessly as well with the Department of Fish and Game and on this, overseeing and working with the state, making sure these projects go forward the way that we in New Bedford would like them to go. Do it in a way that is best and the most effective for those who use it on a daily basis. And I think Kristen has done a wonderful job heading HDC. So, Kristen, thank you very much for your work as well and your commitment to all these projects and to the city. Thank you.
You got any questions? Any questions from the press?
Any questions from the press?
You alluded to this earlier. Just to be clear, are you saying do commercial shell fishermen launch from here at times? Is that you seem to allude to the fact that people make their livelihoods from this ramp?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, not only shell fishermen, but also regular fishermen that go out and get strap or bluefish or other, and sometimes even lobster. Small folks who go out and get have licenses for small amounts of lobster as well. There are lots of folks, and then they turn around and they sell their catch to the local fish markets.
Any indication of how much, in terms of money, comes from these two ramps in terms of economic impact and product?
Well, I think it's difficult to quantify, but I think you can imagine how much that would be. They do it on a daily basis, almost year-round, depending on the conditions. I would say around 5 million plus of activity, because they sell their catch to directly to their local market. So if you go to Mellows Market or other fish market in the city, you find fresh fish. And most of that fresh fish is caught right here on through these daily fishermen, commercial fishermen.
And obviously,
maybe you'd like to add any more to that? Or?
I think that's pretty accurate. Day fishermen, I think, make up $5 million plus of the city's seafood type of economy.
And most of them launch from here.
From these two sites, you'll see commercial day fishermen going out, recreational boaters, but also commercial day fishermen, quahoggers, lobstermen, every day, literally all year long. If the weather's good, the fishermen are out.
It also supports the shipyards that launch boats and getting them out in the water. There's more jobs there too.
That's all I have.
Any other questions? The only word that I would like to leave the press conference with is advocating to the commission that the remaining of the money that we initially earmarked, possibly we could use it for the Gifford Street ramp, which happens to be again in the south end of the city. That's the city, and Kristen and the mayor has been working very hard on that, and hopefully we can convince the commissioner and certainly the governor and the secretary of ANF, Jay Gonzalez, to apply. Since we did this on time, under budget, originally we had earmarked $650,000 for both of these projects, and it came in at $488,000. So I think that's great. So the last word is Commissioner, don't forget we're going to go after the rest of the money for the Gifford Street ramp. Thank you again.